So I started playing around with ChatGPT again. And I said I wasn't going to talk about the cottages anymore. But, oh my gosh, I spent a lot of time getting this rendition of a realistic community because look at the comments. It is crazy how many of you want to do this. And I keep thinking, well, okay, I got to move on for the cottage thing and do a video about something else. But you guys like talking about cottages. So I'm going to show you what I did. But first I have to preface. So many of you commented about the stream and said I shouldn't do a creek because of flooding and all these other issues. But know that I am not talking about a river. I'm talking about a small, tiny little brook. Maybe 6 inches deep or something. This is nothing that's going to flood. And if it is, then I'll just make my own. If I find perfect land and I need a body of water, I'll get a pond liner, okay? So let's not panic about that. And then the other thing that came up dozens of times was the stairs from the patio. So in the rendition, there's the little cottage. And I did the little back patio and it had little stairs coming down from the little door, right? I can't tell you how many people said like, there can't be stairs. You will not be able to get, it's just a rendition. I didn't notice the stairs when I did it. But of course, if I'm building something, it's not going to have stairs. So this time when I went into ChatGPT, I'm like, make sure there's no stairs. Make sure the creek is small, you know, and all these things. I'm panicking. But before I show it, I want you to know that nothing here is set in stone. This is just a fun, for fun, girly rendition of our cottage dream community. And there's got to be things in there I didn't capture, right? Because I'm just excited. I'm looking at it going, oh my God, I want to live here. And, you know, I can't see all the details right now. Now, if I were to set it aside and look at it a week from now, I'll probably see things. And I'm sure you guys will bring things up. But no, these are not drafts, like architectural drafts. This is just a dream at this point. And so any inconsistencies with stages in my life, with disabilities, with aging, with any of that stuff, with flooding, anything like that, it doesn't matter because this is not like I said, this is not builder grade design. This is Colina's crazy design, right? I mean, okay, I want to show you. Okay, I don't even know what order to show you because I made a realistic design and then I made the dream design. Then I made a little in between. But the dream couldn't happen because that's for rich gals, really rich gals. And I think we were all attracted to this idea because it was like tiny home community, you know, reasonable, affordable type thing. So I have the reasonable version. I don't know if I should show you the reasonable first or the dream first. I think I'll show you the reasonable first so we won't be disappointed. Because the reasonable, the ones I had in the last video, they were kind of, you know, I just threw them together real quick. But this one I was like, okay, make sure you're this, that, you know, and I really tried to fine tune it. So I think this is kind of a realistic version, almost like what you would see, you know, in the design room of a developer. So here you go. Okay. So this is my realistic version. And you can see I had it done like at dusk so that you could see the lighting and stuff. But so the pathways are paved for our scooters and wheelchairs. The bridge does not have a big, arch to it. I said the bridge has to be flat. Okay, now don't scream at me that the stream ends at the street. I know this is just a rendition, okay? I get that already. I get that the sign's too big for the, community center, all that. This is just for fun. But the patios are so sweet, and they have the little, garden walls so that you can garden. And it looks like very realistic to me. And it looks like the houses wouldn't be too expensive, but they could be downplayed a little. They're pretty amazing. Okay. So now I'm going to give you kind of like, well, I'm not going to give you my dream village yet. Okay. I have my realistic trails. Okay, so here's the realistic nature trails that could go on behind the community in the woodsy area. We could bring our little scooters on them, right? The little creek runs through it. And don't say, well, that's a big creek. I know. And then there's a little bridge and lighting and all that. So that's that cozy little vision. And then, okay, so this next one, it's like Thomas Kincaid style. So it is totally out of touch. So don't send me anything saying this is expensive and blah, blah, blah. I know that. But I just did it for fun because I'm sitting here reading all of your messages thinking, oh my God, this is so fun. I just have to see this on paper, like a realistic one. Well, after I made the realistic one that I just showed you, I just started goofing around, right? And I kind of put all my dream stuff in there. It wasn't anything that I thought, we would design and build because, sheesh, these cottages, just to pay for the grounds would probably be $1 million each. I don't know. And where I live, they would be for sure. But anyhow, it was fun. And it just, made my vision. Like those ones that I just showed you, you start out like that maybe. And you create, your garden dreams. I don't know. We just make sure it's mandatory that you love flowers and you're an avid gardener. I don't know. But anyhow, here it is. Okay, I have two of them. There's this one, the Dream Village, I call it. Look at that. With the skinny little stream. But look at each little cottage. They're a little bit different. And they're small. They're all one story. Okay, little gazebo in the back. Do you see that? And then, I wonder if I do this on my computer, if you'll be able to see, but look at the little gazebo here in the back. How cozy is that, right? And then back here is all the little walk pathways. That's kind of the area where you can go to if you want to take a little walk. But I like this little walkway in here too. Just a little courtyard walk. Yeah, I know we couldn't have cobblestone if we were trying to be wheelchair friendly, but it's awfully cute. And then I wanted like a little place where you could have like coffee carts come in, that kind of thing. If you just wanted to do something, a little community event, the donut cart, whatever. But what do you think? Look at that cute little cottage. Look at the little patio and the umbrella. I know you can't be that close to a creek. But each one has its own little patio. That's what I wanted. And I wanted some little climbing roses and stuff. But everyone has their own little space. Okay? What do you think of that? Okay, is that dreamy or what? Now don't bite my head off on this one. This one's wild. Oh my gosh. I wish I had $1 zillion. I just can't believe with all the comments and everything that we have. I wish the videos would get like 1 million views, because then someone would come in and say, okay, we got to do this. Look at how many people are interested, right? And I know it's not going to be this one. This is the dream. And chat made these 2 stories, I think. So We're not going to pay attention to that. We're going to overlook that and picture. I titled this on my desktop, Wild and Crazy Dream. So we're just going to pretend like these are all one story. So please don't put, well, you might do it just to be funny, but please don't put in the comments, but they're two stories and they won't work and blah, blah, blah. I just want you to see the coziness. Oh my goodness, like, okay, here we go. Okay, I'm gonna try and do a level hand here. I'm doing it this way because I don't want to take the time to do the in-screen thing, and I want to be able to poke my hand around. Look at this guy right there. That's the one I want. What do you think of that? Oh my gosh. Now you may say I'm crazy, but these things can be done. You can create a house like that. I've created yards like that in my houses before. You can create this stuff, right? And you don't have to be rich to build or to create a beautiful setting like that. And over here is a little gazebo with a bridge. That looks like a river though. We're not going there. We're not going to talk about that. But it's just the idea of that essence of cottage living, community, you know, flowers, charm, lanterns, cozy, whatever. So, you guys, this has to be my last cottage. This has to be my last cottage video. We have to move on from here. Unless something happens, then, you know, we have to revisit. But, holy moly. I want to live in that little cottage and then take little golf carts around to each little house. Like, you know, Ginger made donuts this morning. Everybody go over there. Or, you know, Maybelle needs help potting her rose. I don't know. Oh. Martha had her tooth pulled yesterday. We need somebody to make soup for her. And then, man, you start up the golf cart and you bring over the soup, right? That's what I'm thinking. So as crazy as it sounds, it was just fun. This is fun. You know what I should do? Oh my gosh. I don't know how to transfer the file, but I think I'm going to make some little coloring renditions of these. Would you guys like that? I just have to figure out how to get the file to you where you can download it. So I'll look into that and I'll make some of you might like to like color this. Get some coloring pencils or something. How fun would that be? I wish there was like a two-way thing here. Like I could see your guys' stuff and everything. But okay, so that's the cottage thing. No yelling at me about the river or stairs or second stories because we've already discussed that. So if you say that, I know you didn't watch the video or the cobblestone because this is the crazy psycho rendition, the one you just saw. We're focusing on the realistic rendition. Oh, wait. I didn't show you the crazy rendition walking trails. Hold on. Hold on. There's one more. Just one more. Okay, I have realistic trails and I have dream trails on my desktop. Okay, so here's the dream trails. But I had to tell chat, this looks like a resort. These are $1 million trails, chat. We can't afford these. And so he made the other realistic trails with blacktop instead of cobblestone. But anyways, how fun is that? Meadow Time Nature Trails. That's an AI title. Walk gently. What does that say? Breathe deeply. You belong here. I do like that part though. How cozy is that? So there you have it. I'm not going to take up any more of your time. I'll see what I can do about little coloring book things. And I'll try and shelf this idea for a little bit. See you next time.